Welcome back, everybody, to the Vicious Voodoo tournament here, presented to you by Chili Mountain. And our, oh no, I have the sound on somewhere. And I completely spaced out there, but thankfully, Chadlantis, alongside Paulsible, you are here to save me. Save me, please.
I got you. So we're in the Chili Mountain Vicious Voodoo tournament, $500 prize to the winning team, $400 in cash, $100 in merch through GoodGame Apparel. This is going to be goodgameapparel.co. If you want to go to the website, search for that Chili Mountain tournament shirt. It's official merch for this tournament. Exclamation point sponsor in the chat. And also, if you want to keep up with the brackets, you can do exclamation point bracket in the chat too. It's nice how technology works.
Glad I have you here, Chad.
Paul.
To save my dumb self. Thankfully, I don't have to ramble anymore. Now we can just talk about the game, and the game in front of us is going to be very nice, Chad. We got Elevate coming in, probably the favorites to take this tournament based on the teams we have. At least one of the stronger teams, the more notable teams, the more recognizable teams in the tournament, to be sure. We're going to be heading on to Bind. They're going to be going up against Vintage, who just come off a steamer of a game here on Bind. They just won 14-12 on this match, OT and everything in their round of 16. But now they got to play against Elevate. And honestly, Chad, I've been casting a lot of Elevate recently. This is one of their better maps. Vintage have quite the hill to climb.
So you're saying they're the favorites. You're saying this is the time to shine. You're saying they're going to elevate up this Chili Mountain for the tournament. I'm going to use it every game.
Oh my god, that was
game 3.
Perfect alignment of puns right there.
I got you. Yo, Miniature looking at the teleporter. It's a little shut down by the obstacle. Joker now with that ghost gets caught by that trap wire. He's a little bit scared here. The paranoid comes in. Cyber Cage, just a whole lot of stuff going in the face. Hard to see anything happening there. Just blind fires a little bit, rotates out, but gets a paint shell kill. How did that happen? Where did he throw that? That was crazy.
Threw that back sight, man. Threw it behind the box, and he grabbed it.
Kobe, throw stuff in my face. I'll throw something in your face. Gets that kill. Waffle on site with a classic in hand. Can't take down Jerk. Elevate, taking off A-side. Use that quick rotation with the teleportation. Try to step. Not enough from Jerk to take down Stevie Joe. Stevie Joe is ready for that classic in hand. Gets that ghost straight out. 2 versus 3 on the retake, but KP, she takes down Stevie Joe to avenge her teammate. Miniature downtown takes down Swami as well. First round quickly going to Elevate. Very fast rotation from B to A site with that teleporter. Love to see it.
And Elevate are going to love to use those teleporters the entire time we see them here on Bind. They love to draw rotations to one side, teleport to the other, sometimes double teleport. Saw them do that a couple times when I casted them yesterday. They love to mess with the physics of this map, and I gotta say, it was a great read from them, even early on, right? Early, PJ Tryhard just went in through that teleporter, hard committed to that B defense before Elevate were even on the site, right? So Elevate, they just call, hey, we don't gotta go here. We can just back up, you know? We can get the Raze, who's playing in TP. Now they've already got off to a good start in this round. Just a lone Cypher defending the B site now.
Yeah, Swami got his hands caught in the cookie jar right there. Trying to grab that ultimate charge. That Alodrone knows it's Doondaga. That's going to be a fault line. That's going to be a lot of bullets in the back. Waffle following suit quickly from Shoker. Getting a quick double kill. And PJ Tryhard with a long rotation. 2 versus 5 on the retake. It's a safe round. You might as well go for it on the ACO. Nanners taking out Stevie Joe is all down to this Raze. Can they get out of this? The classic, to make it fair, at least, you got to give that respect to Jerk here. Made it fair. Classic versus classic. Still wins out anyway.
Bro, he wasn't trying to make it fair. He was just low on ammo in his other gun.
Hey, we're going to call it sportsmanship conduct here. Very respectable gameplay.
If it was really trying to make it fair, he would have gone for the honorable 1v1, right? How does Buddy just like take the sideline there? But nah, Elevate, they're going to have their foot on the gas. They're going to be going for everything. They're not going to give an inch. You got to take it away from them if you are Vintage right now. And It's interesting to see how they allocate their players to these sites, Vintage, because they have the Sage and the Raze both doubling up on A. Those are both two characters who are pretty good at slowing down pushes with their utility, right? Slowing the tempo of Elevate, making sure that they can't just hard force onto these sites. And this time around, it's going to work out for them. Being able to get all those slow orbs, those walls, the grenades down A short. They're going to get a frag to go with it, too.
PJ, opening kill. That's a great look for the side of Vintage. They needed that. They needed that first kill. This is their advantage round economically. It should be, at least. And now that they know, they're just very stubbornly is Elevate sitting at A site. And of course, the moment I say that, they finally rotate out. But wait on the wings out here. Swarmy. That flash at the perfect timing to snip them out. Miniature taking him down. And now they're just going to be full send onto B side, especially with that kill onto Zunga.
And this is Elevate, man. They always know where you can be playing. They respect the fact that they were over on A so heavily. Someone could have pushed out into the fountain. They used splashes to clear it and everything just so that they can get that momentum, get the spike, plant it without issue. Good Cyber Cage too. This is just so well timed, so well coordinated from Elevate. I love to see this dedication. Now, Cyber Cage did time out there. That was a little bit risky there for KP, but she's gonna get away. And Elevate, they turn their bonus round into a bonus win.
Absolutely, right there, Waffle needed to. They lost those shots. They need to just rotate back towards the left a little bit faster, challenge the right angle just in case somebody was there. It's stuck on that a little bit too long. Was a little bit too exposed. Not playing a jet, can't tailwind out of there or anything, so a little tough position for Waffle, but it was going to be tough round to win regardless, honestly, in that situation. 1 versus 3, they're all on site, and like you said, Elevate is just so decisive, they're not hesitating on these plays at all. They just know what they're doing. They have macro rotations set up, they're coordinated, they're executing properly, and this is looking like a really tough game to win for Vintage, and yeah, you called it. They're looking like the favorites to win their map is Elevate.
Little spicy. It does have to deal with 2 players, but the spray transfer is beautiful. They just had pistols anyways. You hardly had to do that to him, Shoker. Can Zunga get anything done from elbow? Almost certainly going to be clear to flash and everything. Oh, no chance. No chance. Just try to play the patient game, but flawless from Elevate. That's just been... I mean, that's a word to describe how this map has been playing out yet. And I think it is very unfortunate for Vintage that we ended up here on Bind, right? Because if we're talking about Elevate, their weakest map, probably, I would say Haven, out of the maps that they've been playing recently. Now, they banned Split going into this map. And then when Vintage banned Haven, that left Ascent and Bind, and those are pretty good Elevate maps. So unfortunate matchup here for Vintage, that's to be sure.
Yeah, we're pre-game kind of discussion before the stream went back to live. They're telling us what the map pick bans were, like that, and you were in shock of the pick bans. Nope, the other team didn't scout out the enemy team of Elevate. They just didn't ban Bind, and you're like, really? They got Bind? Really? Tryhard though, Swami. Ooh. Finding success so far, actually. So this might be the first round they win. I was going to talk about how 3 members of the side of Elevate hadn't even died yet, but that is looking likely to change on this round. Vintage holding the lines anyway. They got those kills, but not being too aggressive from it. Just going to be patient, keep composure of themselves, which is great to see. And now the last member alive, KP. She's rotating over to B long, bomb in hand. 1 versus 5. Can she do it?
It's certainly not looking likely for KP here, but Elevate have gotten enough flawless rounds where they've stacked up money in the bank, so might as well make this round costly. Reminder, there's not a whole lot of money available, so if KP gets 2, 3 frags here, you are feeling fine and dandy despite losing this round as Elevate.
That was a really fast reaction time. Perfect flick. Love to see those. I love me some flicks. KP
it's very satisfying.
2 of the members of Vintage though hanging way back. One finally is rotating over Swami, but
10 seconds left.
Finds that kill onto Stevie Joe, but nice timing from Waffle though. As soon as that fight happened, instantly peeks out to protect their teammate, or at least avenge them.
Look at the money for Elevate, though. 4 of them were sitting on 9K coming into this round. And unfortunately for KP, she doesn't quite get the 3rd frag, which is what you needed to stop a full buy from coming out. Now with 3 people still alive, hanging on to guns for Vintage coming into this round, they'll buy up no problem. And it was a good hard hold, but expensive at that, right? You had to invest the showstopper as Vintage, as PJ Tryhard, to actually keep Elevate out. And at least there was some good backup on that play. I like this reallocation, sending the Sage over into Hookah, giving that trap wire so that the Sage has the information of when the wall is I was going to say when the wall is necessary. It's already down on the field, so never mind.
Now is the time. It's necessary.
Immediately. I don't want Elevate anywhere near me. Thank you very much.
Get him out of here. That's a great recognition, like you said. Just not be too stubborn and arrogant about it. Realize, okay, we need to adjust the strategy a little bit. Send the Sage over to B. Make it a little bit of adjustment. And it looks like it's working out so far. Getting the open pick again onto KP. Nanners, though, answering right back, taking down Waffle. That paint shell doing a lot of damage. Ooh. Shoker, get a showstopper flying in and taking out CV Joe. What a show-stopping action from Shoker. Taken down immediately, though. That paint shell perfectly placed. Nanners perfectly positioned. Last member alive, PJ on that flank, not able to do a whole lot. Another round win over to Elevate.
A little bit more context here for Elevate, as their squad. I've gotten to cast them a lot recently. I'm pretty familiar with it. Shoker and Nanners are actually 2 newer additions to this squad, right? The Jerk Mini and KP are the only 3 officially signed to the roster, right? They've been playing around with who they want to add in as those 4th and 5th members. Shoker and Nanners, though, have been insane recently. Shoker, I mean, you can look at the scoreboard and see it, but you can also tell by the way they use their utility, right? Shoker is able to make so much space for his team using the paint shell, using the showstopper, getting them onto that B site, and then Nanners comes along, makes sure to secure those frags with that breach utility. Is excellent work from Elevate right now.
Yeah, save round for Vintage. Kwame had little chance of winning that one out. Had the Sheriff, but the hold was too good on the side of Elevate. Jerk, the From the Shadows, I believe, was what he got there. Yes. Able to get into Heaven over A site. Complete control of the site. It's a save run as well. I doubt strongly that Vintage will win this round.
Yeah, no.
And,
Elevate,
that was correct.
Elevate, don't stop. They put their foot on the gas, especially when they know they can take those gunfights. And they're not afraid to use that breach utility after they already get onto the site, right? They'll use other things to get themselves in position to where they can plant, and then Nanners is saving a lot of these flashes, a lot of the fault lines, to ensure that the retakes are impossible for the defenders, right? And Elevate is a very attack-heavy team. Now, their defense has been questionable in the past. We're gonna keep that little bullet point available, as this is still their attacking half. But right now, Elevate just looks clean.
KP not finding a whole lot with that Hunter's Fury. Didn't have a whole lot of information of exactly where they were, but at least they had an idea that oftentimes they would stack up on that close angle for a short. Go ahead and gambles, but or gamble didn't quite pay off. At least they're able to clear out. Nobody's there now, so that is a little bit of information gained as Nanners shuts down Swami on that wall upgrade. Finding the kill, Stevie Joe taking the spray from Waffle's angle. Waffle answering back, but not for much. Jerk back up into Heaven. 2 versus 2. Bomb going down. It's gonna have to be a retake from Vintage. Odin in hand for the Cypher. Zunga ready to lay in the bullets. 6 HP. Yikes. Zunga able to get out there just in time. Dodging the shock darts as well. Not finding the same success players like Venture from last game were able to find with their shock darts as of yet. Though I'd say this is a little bit tougher of a situation to do so. Zunga, 6 HP. Going for the peak. Nice decision on shooting through that double box. Odin, the perfect gun for doing so. 1 versus 1. Zunga, Odin in hand versus KP, the Sova in bathrooms. Does Zunga know the time isn't there? Doesn't even matter. Just running out, saving the Odin, and KP so much money. She doesn't even care. Take the loss. Drops the gun even. I don't need this anymore.
Who needs the gun?
7-1 on
Get
the
it out of
rounds.
here.
Look at them though, like 9,000 for 3 of them, over 8,000 for the other 2.
Yeah.
You're gonna cap in money anyway. Might as well buy up.
Yeah, it's been excellent from Elevate thus far, and I loved how Jerk and KP played the end of that round, right? Jerk moving up into heaven with that paranoia, knew where the defenders would be coming from. Just so well played there. And then once they take that initial engagement, Jerk and KP, they just back up, right? They say, we don't need to hard hold this far forward. We just need to buy time. So let's back up, make them question where we're even playing, not give them the kill for that information. And just so well done by Elevate right now.
I really like.
Okay, I say that as they flash themselves.
Don't worry, you gotta make it a little more competitive. They're winning too hard. Tryhard getting taken down from the paint shelf, pinned against the wall there. Curveball, nice flick by Nanners, but not enough. Still getting taken down by Swami. Not enough spray transfer in the bank there for Jerk. Gets taken down. Miniature 1 versus 2 on site. Doesn't even have bombing hand. Kind of doesn't even check the right corner. Walks out in the middle open. Looking like a throwaway round for Elevate. They look 180 from what they looked like in the previous 8 rounds.
Yeah, I think Elevator may be getting a little bit too frisky here. They did not need to commit to B long. Look, if I'm gonna talk Elevate up, I'm also gonna talk them down when they have some rough rounds like this, right? I mean, there was no need for Elevate to just hard force down B long when they flashed themselves, when the run it back was available. I mean, Tryhard didn't even need to pull out the showstopper, right, to shut that down. And I mean, Mini likes to flank. Mini likes to go for these long lurks, right, over on the opposite side, especially here on Bind, because they're not afraid to go through the teleporter on B long and change it to a hard committal on A. But ultimately, when you lose the majority of your team over in B long, it turns out a little bit difficult to do so.
This goes here.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with literally everything you're saying, Paul. I love it.
Thank you for just stroking my ego, Chad. Appreciate it.
I'm here for you, man. It's the power of positivity. Great cast so far. Great game so far for Elevate. They got a little bit lazy there, though, for sure. A little bit, just a little hyphy.
Oh, boy.
I'd say a rolling thunder from Nanners running right in there. Shoker takes down Swami. So this is going to be a B-side take for sure. They are commanding it for themselves. The Odin and Hando for that Cypher. See what we can do with it. Aftershock pushing him back. Nice little reaching clear from the breach. Takes him down. Completely spraying with Zunga, but wasn't enough.
Oh,
Waffle just
on.
full stampede. Is this a rhinoceros? What is going on here? Oh my goodness, Waffle. Might want to take a little bit more patient. It looks like maybe a little bit of tilt on the side of Vintage, perhaps. Maybe I'm sniffing that out. I don't know why Waffle would just be throwing himself in that direction, in that situation. But it is what it is. Miniature, looking at the last member alive, doesn't quite get the flick. But at this point, Elevate's really just playing with the food. DJ Tryhard, like fish in a barrel right here. Pushing it with a shorty, doesn't have a care in the world.
Mitty, what are you doing?
Oh my god, Miniature, what are you doing? Shoker finally shutting down Tryhard, running for the hills. At least was able to get a couple kills, but yikes. 2 rounds away from the half. Elevate. It's looking like they're just playing with their food at this point.
Elevate, you're already 6 rounds ahead. Come on. Come on, let him get away with the gun. And you know what? There is something to be said here about Vintage, because I don't think they're playing these rounds terribly, right? I thought actually toward the beginning of that round, there was some good utility used from Vintage to try and hold that B site, right? The paranoia goes forward, hits a couple, forces him back. Cypher cage there was used a little bit too defensively in my opinion, but it at least kept the Cypher alive in elbow for a little while. But you need to actually turn these utility delays into some advantages, and I think that's the step that Vintage is struggling to take against an aggressive team like Elevate. Oh, come on, Jerk. Come on, they have to know he's here. They heard the From the Shadows.
Yeah, I mean,
oh no.
Oh. It's tough to see. Waffle, though, nice hold, though, despite being flashed. Takes down Shoker as well. Can't quite get KP, though. That's going to be looking like another round advantage for Elevate, 3-2. Likely to win it. Jerk finding Stevie Joe. Still in their spawn. Pulling the angle. Can't quite get Swami, though. Not that it really matters at this point, to be honest. 2 versus 1. Swami had time, but he doesn't have life for the round take. And that's going to be 9-2 for Elevate. Last round of the half.
It's just
And the
so
economy
nasty.
is in shambles for Vintage. Can't even full buy.
Yeah, I mean, when you've lost that many rounds, you know, you buy what you can every single round pretty much because you have to start putting wins on the board.
Yep.
Elevate just looks so good right now, man. They look completely undeterred. I don't think this Sage has had the effect that Vintage were necessarily looking for. I don't necessarily. I don't think it was the wrong call, right? Especially against a team that likes to push as forward, as aggressively as Elevate does, right? You can slow them down. If you catch them in a slow orb, those can become some very potential frags for you to take here. But Elevate have not been taking the bait, and now they're just going to rush out with the showstopper.
Yeah, those two words I use to describe Elevate so far this game is decisive and relentless. They have not let up. As soon as they get the throat, they don't let go. They just finish the fight, finish the fray as the Predators on this map. KP, Nanners getting 2-for-1 overall trade for the team. Choker and Nanners.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be the round right here. 4-1. Last alive with Stevie Joe with a guardian hand. He's going to get knifed. Not like this. Woo! No, not like this. Stevie Joe getting 2 kills. Silently, 1 versus 2, maybe? As KP is doing some wild in-air Hunter's Fury jump shots. Miniature just holding the angle. KP winning as well. Oh, Stevie Joe looked like a maybe. Oh, that looked like you can sense the hope in the air. For Stevie Joe, got the 3K. Oh my, Nanners though, and Choker leading this board. I have a prediction for you, Paul. My prediction is that Nanners and Choker are gonna get signed by Elevate.
Yeah, I think that is not out of the realm of possibility, Chad. That's for sure here. But I do have to double back, right? To that bullet point, I put it on the bulletin, and now I kind of want to take it off and take another look at it, right? Because Elevate in their past have a lot of the time been an attacker-sided team. Now, admittedly, this is very favorable for them. They are doing an excellent job, and it seems like they are just going to try and keep this momentum going, keep the foot on the gas as hard as they can. They're going to rush out here immediately. Oh, they creep into TP.
Ooh,
that's
smart.
just rude.
Oh my.
Oh, and the camera too? Come on.
Strats.
Okay.
Oh,
this is ridiculous, right? But there is a real potential problem here for Elevate, is that they've given up B site entirely, right? And there is a trap wire over by Garden to see if somebody comes up long here, but okay, well, as I say that, they slaughter the 2 people in Hookah, so never mind.
To add insult to injury, do a creative, cheesy play like that while already so grossly in the lead this game. It's likely going to get them the round win for Pistols. Try hard, try to hold it down though in the corner. Looking a little bit good for Vintage for a second there, but too many people alive on the side of Elevate. That's going to be round 1 for Pistols. Likely will win the next one because of economical standing. And you always want to give hope for both teams to be able to win it. You can never count a team out until the game's over. But man, it's looking unlikely for Vintage at this point.
And I think Vintage, there is an opening that Elevate are giving them here, right? If Elevate are going to play these aggressive styles, right, you can just play back as Vintage. You can play past where the barriers are, right? If they just stay where they are right now until they get information from Elevate are going to rush places. They're going to get frisky. They're going to go for things that honestly they probably shouldn't on paper, right? And if you can get that information, you can theoretically use it to your advantage and catch Elevate off guard. Theoretically.
Even with that, Vintage maybe assuming that, seems like nobody's pushing out A short, pushing out A short themselves. Paint shell on the way. KP takes a little bit of a hit from that. Very weak at this point, but that's going to be Vintage on site. I believe they can get in range to plant the bomb, but that's going to be so much utility, especially from that raise of paint shells. Couldn't quite get there to plant in time. Nice rotation, though. Taking something out of Elevate's book from the first round. Getting onto B site very quickly. Sipped out that full rotation.
Spike planted.
Spike planted, 3 versus 4 on the field. Flash out in the air, full speed ahead. Not doing anything but stampeding forward. W key held. Going into Garden, though. Would Anders get a double the Singer? Ooh. 1 left alive on Vintage. It's going to be Zunga with the classic only. Gets 1. Can he get 2? It's going to be tough. Drop in shot. Right click. Not in time. Diffuses there anyway. Nanners and Choker, the last 2 alive, holding it down for Elevate.
Nanos isn't even going to get to drop a 30 bomb this game because the game's going to be over too quick. There is an opening here, though. Again, you know, like you were saying earlier, we try to keep things realistic for both teams as much as we can, but we also, you know, to an extent, that realism has to extend to the openings that are available, albeit very difficult to pull off at this point for Vintage, right? Because they did do damage to Elevate's economy. This is not a full bonus round for them. So if you can make this round expensive, get off to a good start, there's a chance.
The hope is alive. The new hope here is taken. The star of the show here, Miniature. Can it be a Death Star? We shall see. Do you like the
I find your lack of good puns disturbing.
Were those not the puns you're looking for?
Oh, God. All right. Well, another round on the board for Vintage there. Oh, my word.
Vintage, though, that is a big round for them to win.
It
like,
is.
Jokes aside,
And,
like
yeah,
every round is do or die at this point.
And they can grab guns now, right? They actually have an economical advantage. Elevator forcing into this round, too. This is something Elevate like to do. If they're at a slight disadvantage, they like to force with these weird economies to catch the enemy team off guard. So I'm not sure that Vintage are necessarily expecting this round to be a buy-up. If Vintage don't find themselves firmly planted with both feet on the ground, this is going to get dicey.
It honestly feels like Elevate just has so much confidence in themselves. KP just dying on them. She gets that headshot with that Marshall. Miniature finish up tryhard there on the flank. 3 versus 3. But yeah, Elevate's playing like so cocky, so like confident. They know they have all these rounds to give if they wanted to. They've been so dominant so far. They're just going to buy up and just try and make it happen with big showboating plays every single round. Big shock darts coming in, doing a pretty good amount of damage. That Phoenix, though, going to heal right up. Here's all of those rotations. The Vandal is going to be quite the upgrade for the Marshall. We'll see if KP can do with his shock darts through the teleporter.
Oh, that was dirty.
Right that was
KP,
nasty.
the recon for to give the info. Can't quite find the next frag, though. And now it's all down to just Jerk. Solo entering in onto the site, going for the fake TP. Glad that the enemy omen didn't peek right then because the smoke expired.
Oops.
Gonna just creep onto the site. This is a good crossfire, though, and does give a little bit of information. Gives the information that Jerk is at least on the site. Going for the blinded hookah. This fake onto the bomb was never gonna work, though. You had no idea where Zunga was playing from. And a 4th round on the board. Now, a full eco is going to have to come out from Elevate. I mean, a Thrifty is certainly a possibility. But I am going to call back just a little bit and remind folks that Elevate sometimes struggle on their defenses. So if they don't get this Thrifty, if they don't win right here, and if their next gun round doesn't go their way, we're looking at a bit of an issue.
Suddenly we're looking at maybe like 8 to 12 if that happens. That is a big if. Definitely a big if. Jerk taking down instantly, trying to do this crazy shrouded step play through the teleporter. On his way back, it's just taken down by Tommy. Shoker with nice pace shots, long range. 3 to the body. That'll do it with the Sheriff.
Okay, KP's just seemingly going to whiff this. Oh! I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon.
Cast a curse.
KP
didn't see the gun in the barrel.
Try hard just on the flank there. Oh man, I was getting a little worried. Chad, that we were gonna have 2 back-to-back thrifty wins to take games here in the Vicious Voodoo, but it's not gonna be the case. Gun rounds now for Elevate. This should be their round. What was that?
She could see the barrel sticking out of the box. I don't know what she was looking at in this situation, but a little unlucky. Maybe looking at the main map or something like that instead of the moment. You never really know. But yeah, this is it's gonna be like I personally have high doubts that Vintage could win this game based on the round and the performance so far. But because of you promoting how bad they are on defense is Elevate, at least maybe because they're too arrogant or something like that. I don't know, maybe too sloppy. Plus, if Vintage can get to about 7-8 rounds, then I'm gonna be like, okay, this is actually a really good shot of them winning the game. So they need to get to that point first. They'll get that faith alive in me, but I know it's possible. Vintage can do it, and it's not over until it's over.
it would be a feat of unbelievable proportions. Herculean task here for Vintage still, especially when they get caught like flashes like that from Nanners.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And this is what I love about Elevate. When they start to feel their backs against the wall, they play the information game and then go for surefire plays. Now, it's hard to, dodge a showstopper there. Shoker is always going to be difficult for that to work out. But KP, another 2K for Elevate here. Oh, jerk. Oh, jerk.
Defenders win.
Oh, he does it to him. And there's the 13-5 Elevate we're looking for. Unsurprising. A dominant map from them. As strong as we expect.